Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Fantasy Football Universe. I am Aaron St. Denis. You can find me on Twitter at FFMadScientist. Joined today once again by Steve Hungarter. Find him at IDP Hunter. Thanks for joining me, Steve. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
Just wanted to hit some of the IDP here. You know, we got the all the defensive linemen and linebackers went today. So I thought, why not take a brief, instant reaction here? We did one of these 3-round IDP rookie mocks last week. I said, we haven't had time to digest all the data. I know who stood out to me, who, I didn't really hear much of. So let's see what changed since we did this last time. But before we get into it, you want to take a second to tell everyone where they can find you and your work.
Sure. I'm over at the Fantasy Six Pack. I have a podcast over there, and I write the rankings article. I also do rankings during the season. I'm an ECR ranker at Fantasy Pros. And then last but not least, I'm over at IDP Guys as well, and I write content for them as well.
I'm not going to lie. Some of these results, like I said, I worked today, so some of them I knew, some of them I didn't. I am cheating. I have the NFL Combine results on the other tab here. So there's a couple of guys I'm looking at. I'm going, ooh, Peyton Wilson had himself a day. That was the fastest 40 time of the day at 4.43. Not bad. I know you took him as your LB1, I think, last week. We'll see just how high he gets up.
You know what's funny, though, Aaron, on that note, too? I mean, a lot of guys swear by the 40. I mean, especially like these defensive ends. I wrote an article over at the Six Pack a couple weeks ago, Combine cheat codes, especially for our edge class, the 40-yard dash, the arm length, the broad jump, 3 cones. Yes, context matters, but I don't blow these 40-yard dashes out of the water. You know what I mean?
I did the same thing a few weeks back, except it was overall. It wasn't just IDP. Was yours just IDP?
For the Combine cheat codes, I did overall every position.
Okay, so I did the same thing.
Yeah. But like the Combine, the speed, you can still get on the field. You can be a slower corner, stuff like that. What I will do is I will use that as a disqualifier. If a guy's 4.7, 4.8, I'm not drafting him, so.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was going to say. It was the way I used it. Like you said, the 40 time, that's great, but it doesn't, for the small running backs, that's the most important thing you want. For the bigger running backs, 40 time doesn't really matter as much. So.
Right, exactly.
All right, well, let's get into this. We're going to run 3 rounds here, mock draft 2.0 of the IDP rookie only. I will once again give you the first pick. Who did you take last time? Was it Verse or Turner?
It's Verse, and shocker for the audience at home, it's going to be Verse again, my friend.
I think it's Verse. I was going to say, because I was debating this on the car ride home, I thought you took Verse third last time, and I was going to say, if I get the number 1 pick, I'm taking Verse first. So
you gifted me with, I took Verse first, and then you gifted me with the second pick, and I got Turner. Yeah. No, I got Turner. I got Turner at if I'm not mistaken. With Verse, though, if I can give a little bit of data here, his Combine today, 4.59. Everybody loves that speed. That was third at his position. 10-yard split, 1.6. That was third of his position. Vertical jump, 35/7. Broad jump, 10/7. That's third. So overall, he's still in the mix. He's still a stat player. He's still my number 1. There's a lot of hype going on right now. This is hype season. I'm staying the course with my players.
Yeah, I think he was the 101 before the Combine, and today's testing, I think, gave him a bigger edge on the 101. I think that's where he's staying. I believe last time I went Latu here and I gifted you Turner.
You did.
I feel like I want to do the same thing. I don't know. I'm looking over some of the Combine numbers. Turner tested really well, and Latu was only average. No, I'm going to stay. I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to stay the course, and I'm going to gift it to you again. And I'm going to take Latu again.
So you could already read my mind if you have ESP in the audience at home. I'm going with my guy, Dallas Turner. I'm not going to give insight. If you want the insight, go back and look at the previous article.
All right. This is where it gets interesting. I think last time I lost my mind here. Go with. I think I transitioned to another position here. I don't think I'm ready to do that just yet.
Ooh.
I don't know. We're in a tough spot. It's getting interesting. I've had a few guys really jump up here. I feel like I want to take Chop Robinson. I just don't know. I feel like that's way too high. I don't know. Think this through with me here. I'm indecisive. Who are the guys who would be in the chat?
If it was me, I would go either Mr. Latu or Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson had himself a day. So if you don't take him here, I'd put him at 5. You're not wrong. It's not nothing to overthink. It's dealer's choice who you want. With Chop Robinson today, he ran a 4.48. I'm not as impressed with that, but that broad jump at 10.8, that's pretty impressive. There's a correlation between that stat to the NFL. In my article, and I don't want to waste our time or the audience at home, look at that article. There was a study in 2018 about broad jumps and 3 cones. All of these players that come out, a lot of them end up being Pro Bowlers. So Chopper Latu would be my choice if it was me.
Well, I already took Latu at 2, but I think
did you? Okay, yeah.
Last time I wanted Chop, and I think I transitioned to who I had next on the board at another position, and I regretted not waiting on the other positions. So I think I'm going to keep the D end run going here, and I'm going to go with Chop. Which puts you up on the board, and we'll see how long we can continue the defensive end run here. Because last time I went with Edgerrin Cooper, and it started a run on a linebacker that I don't think would have started normally that early. So we'll see how it plays out. Who do you got next?
For me, I'm going to keep the run going just because I really feel passionate about this draft. I mean, I really do. So for me, there's 2 players in this spot that I would take.
Darius Robinson is who you're taking?
What's that?
Yeah, I said, is Darius Robinson who you're taking?
I could. Oh, okay. I was gonna go a little bit on this one. I was gonna take what's his name? Oh man, I just lost it. Chris Braswell is what I was gonna go with.
I thought you were going between Braswell and Robinson. I know you're a Darius Robinson guy, so.
I am, but yeah, I'll play devil's advocate and I'll go the other way this time.
All right.
He's got 4.7 speed. He's highly regarded. He's a stand-up pass rusher and edge, so hand in dirt. So you can play him both ways. I think he'll be a back end first rounder, maybe second. So that's my guy.
I'm going to keep the run on the defensive line going. Because last time I jumped the gun and I took the first tier, I think there's 2 linebackers that should be going, but with only 2 of us drafting, I don't think I have to jump the gun here. Whereas I think Jerzan Newton is the last of the really good players at defensive line. So I'm going to take him as the last of my tier there and then honestly, I'm going to wait. And whenever you take Cooper or Peyton Wilson, I'm going to take the other one. So that's a little nice there. So what do you want at 107 then?
I'm gonna go on the run again. You know my guy Darius Robinson. He's got a win pass rush rate at 27.8. PFF's got him high graded 81.4 and 78.4. School 22 hurries, 6 QB hits, 8 sacks, and 23. He actually transitioned to the Tech 5. I just wrote this on Twitter the other day. A Tech 5 in the NFL. Think a Richard Seymour type. So this is my tier 1 right here, defensive line.
You see them typed in white, ignore them. It means they've been picked, but I have to reset this board at the end of the day, and it's easier to copy and paste if I know where they went to begin with. Unfortunately, this is the only way we can do it until Sleeper puts them in. So last time I had to go through and be like, okay, who went to this school? Some of them, All right, so we've We've gone pretty much defensive line here for 7 picks. Now I'm really starting to debate because I don't think there's another. My next one would be Byron Murphy. I have him as a late first, early second. And the top 4 players I have on the board are all linebackers. So I guess you forced me into pulling the trigger here. And I kind of feel bad about it, but I kind of feel good because last time I took Edgerrin Cooper as the 104, and this time I'm getting him as the 108. So I don't hate it. But this is probably more realistic because last time I really jumped the gun. I think in most drafts, unless you really have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, they would just hammer D-line like we did here. So I'll take the first linebacker.
They would go linebacker because they don't know this draft class. Excellent point, Aaron.
So who you got at 109?
Peyton Wilson. He's pretty good, right? I was just playing Russian roulette with you, trying to get whoever's left over. But
I know I made the mistake of telling you what I was thinking. You would not do that in a real draft. No table talk.
This looks realistic, though. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna look at my board. now you're putting me between the two linebackers I have in Junior Colson and Jeremiah Trotter, or Byron Murphy, or the safety Tyler Nubbin. For the record, don't do this in a real draft. We don't do table talk, and don't tell your friends what you're thinking. But the point of this is for you guys to see our process and what we're thinking so that you can understand, instead of me just, the guys where they're hiding going, I don't want to get sniped. I'm not going to tell you who my pick is. Well, I'm going to tell you who I want. So, I don't know who I want. I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on Nubbin Wilson. I think I'm going to double back on linebacker here and go with Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Nice.
Not sure. I was really torn there. I think the pick. Yeah, I'm going with that. Oops. Yep. Sorry. I'm good. I'm good with Trotter. That's what we're going with. You're up.
So, believe it or not, the combine is really telling about players, and we start to reveal things. And all year, I've been kind of pouting this one player, Newton, as my top defensive tackle. There's a case for Brian Murphy. Let me tell you what he did today. He had 10-yard splits of 1.6. Again, my metrics 1.7 or higher is really, really good, right? Byron Murphy had a 33 vertical, 9.3 on the broad jump. That's a bit disappointing, but for the rest of it, he has a legitimate chance of being our top defensive tackle in this draft class, even though this whole offseason I've been pushing Newton. Just dealer's choice with those two, but I'll take him here.
The only thing that I didn't like is he ran slower than I thought he would. Yeah. But my other D lineman that I liked was Chris Jenkins, who ran even slower. So I don't hate it.
But you know what? If there's one position to be slow at, I'm okay. That's the one.
You're not out there running sprints anyways. I hear you. But so that makes my decision a little easier, I think. It is a pretty shallow safety class. There's only a few of them, and you're niche guy. So I am going to take my safety number one off the board here. The first defensive back will be Minnesota safety Tyler Nubbin to end out round one. So let's recap. We have Jared Verse at 1, Latu at 2, Dallas Turner 3, Chop Robinson 4, Chris Braswell 5, Jerzan Newton 6, Darius Robinson 7, Edgerrin Cooper 8, Peyton Wilson 9, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. at 10, Byron Murphy at 11, and Tyler Nubbin at 12, leaving you on the clock at 2:01. Who is your guy?
So you know what? I'm still going to go with our top cornerback, and I'm curious to see how this turns out. 2.1, I'm going to go Mr. Cooper. DeJean, however his name is, I'm going to take him now that I know the safety's off the board. He still has 1.7 grade value for me. So, if you're in a cornerback league, that's who I'm taking.
See, and this is another one where I went with the safety there in Nubbin because I didn't have another. He was my safety. Like, he was the tier for me in safety. I didn't go with the cornerback because I have two that were my top tier. I was between DeJean or whatever you want to say it, and Quinyon Mitchell. So I have no problem waiting there. Having said that, I had both of them a little bit lower, so I don't know if I was going to pull the trigger just yet anyways. I am now torn. I am between Braylon Trice, Junior Colson, Cameron Kitchens. Do I even have one sec? Do I even have Junior Colson on my board? Oh yeah, there he is. I couldn't find him. I am gonna go. Damn! You convinced me. I want to go with my cornerback too. I'm going Quinyon Mitchell.
Nice. Hey, so, you got to take your shots, and that could start a cornerback block. So this looks like a realistic draft,
All righty, you're up at 2:03.
So one thing I love about Aaron, my new best friend, he tells the players that I'm about to play. It's like if we were playing poker, you know what's in my hand. Yeah. There is one defensive lineman that really isn't being talked up, but he's a first-round grade for me, and that's Braylon Trice. 4.7 speed, pass rush grade 94%. He had 17 QB hits, 51 hurries, 7 sacks in the college season. I really enjoy Braylon Trice. I usually take him around a Braswell, which I took at 1.5. So you can just see how this board goes. If you don't have high draft picks, you can wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can wait your 7th DL down, and we're still going strong at that position.
Yeah, that would have been my pick there. I was debating between Mitchell, Colson, and Trice, and yeah, once I took Mitchell, Trice would have been my second one. Trice probably would have been my my first one in this group if I was actually drafting, but I've drafted like 4 D linemen already, so I said let's go with a corner here. But you wouldn't really have that in real life because I wouldn't have drafted 4 of the first 12 picks. So I went with Junior Colson then at 104. I have him ranked 8th overall in this IDP class. So I had him as a back end first round pick. He slid considerably lower because I don't know, linebacker. So
yeah, right.
He was an easy pick for me. Once you took Trice, he was an easy pick at 7. My next highest ranked guy is Cam Kitchens at 14. So that was an easy one for me. Who is your 205? Sorry, 205.
So this is where we start getting a little bit cute in our drafts. We're looking at the board because I'm pretty sure we're taking all the premium guys off the board. And I'm looking around. Can't really go too wrong. And here's the thing. Sometimes the combines go against guys. Let me see if you can guess my player. He had 80 solo tackles, 31 assists, 54 stops. He's highly regarded as a top 5 linebacker in his draft class. 368 tackles in college, 8.5 sacks. He recorded in 2022, so let's go back that season. He recorded a massive 146 tackles. So he's a tackle machine. Again, don't hurt his combine, but Cedric Gray is my guy right here.
Yes. Did you see who I'm scrolled over? I couldn't tell. I'm like, I think he means Gray, but I don't want to do it in case he means Eichenberg.
Yeah.
I figured it was Cedric Gray, which means I really am leaving the linebackers till the 3rd round now because that's not true. I guess I don't mind Jalen Ford, but I'm not big on outside linebackers in IDP unless it's specific to their format. But excuse me. So that means I'm going to take my next guy who was on the board, safety Cameron Kitchens out of Miami, Florida.
Nice.
That's an easy one for me. We're getting to the point now where there's not really all that many elite options left. There's some good ones here, but there's every one of these guys from about Kitchens, I think, on has a flaw. So who is your 207?
So, at this point, we're looking at value. We're looking at deals. If we were at Costco, we have our Costco card. We're looking at, shopping, spending. I have a 2.5 grade on this guy, and he's actually my second cornerback in this class. And again, that cornerback class dealer's choice, but there's too many good ones still. Huh?
Arnold?
You got it. Yep, 2.7. I get him. I had him at 2.5. So, like you had a really good cornerback last video. I just wasn't taking those guys as early as I was. But I think this is where in big king scoring drafts, we'd be seeing a couple corners coming off the board in between here after the top 2-3 safeties go.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where you're right. I think we'd start pushing it. I'm looking at the highest guy left on my board, and it's literally see, after him, he was the good tier there for defensive back because after that, the next 8 players on my board are not DBs, they're linebackers or tackles. So I think for you to grab him there, that was nice to get the last of that tier. I'm debating between you took Gray. So I have 3 players. I'm debating between T'Vondre Sweat and Leonard Taylor III at tackle or Tommy Eichenberg. I think I'm going to go Eichenberg only because there's 2 tackles and 1 linebacker. So I'm going to take the last linebacker in that tier. And then if you take one of the other tackles, I'm going to simply take the guy you didn't take. So once again, this would never happen in a real draft where I just told my opponent what I was doing, but we're trying to teach here. So that's what I'm doing. So you are up.
How fun is that, though? How fun is that? Because while you were saying it, that was my strategy, too. So rather than play chess, let's just do checkers.
You know what's funny? I used to do this when I played poker. I used to do this a lot, and I'd flat out just tell the person what I was doing. They don't believe you, and it's like, hey, I'm doing this. Yeah, no, you're not. You're full of it. Okay.
So you ever, I don't know if you do this as a common strategy. I'm in drafts and, you're at the end of the draft. You see the 2 guys in front of you. They already took DB. So he's probably not going to take that. Let me go and come back around. Yeah. I would be, assuming I wouldn't know what you were taking, I would take Sweat here. And there's a little bit of concern with Sweat, but he is a top tackle. He's massive at 366 pounds. he's probably going to play at 380, NFL level. But don't be surprised if he falls on real big boards draft day. But I'm going to take him here, despite any concerns or whatever. He is one of your top. This is a good interior lineman class. Yeah. A lot of people don't give it enough credit. The issue on them is they sometimes disappear in big games. That's really your only concern.
And then once you take the D tackle here, I am going to scoop up the last one that I wanted, Leonard Taylor. Like I said, after the Tommy Eichenberg pick, that was my plan there to take. I would have preferred Sweat, but once you take Sweat, I take Taylor, bringing you to the 211.
Yeah, 211, you can do a lot of things here. There's a lot of discounts still on the board, a lot of things you can do. What I think I'm going to do here is, because we kind of abused the defensive line, and linebacker's a little watered down in my opinion. I'm going to go to the safety well. Do you know which one I'm taking?
I am thinking you're going Javon Bullard.
Yeah, I was going to go Bullard first. Yeah, and then I have Bullocks after him. Right? Really, those two I kind of get them. Depends on what kind of week I'm in, but yeah, that's my DB3 right now.
That's kind of what I figured, and I kind of anticipated we were going to have a run on DBs here, but this is what a real draft should look like. Push the DBs. Push your DBs, grab the 2 elite ones. We grab the 2 ones we liked, or even 3 or 4 we like, and then push them, because they're always the last place you should be drafting, last position you should be drafting an IDP, unless the scoring stats are really skewed to where, it benefits them. So at this point, I think you're right. I like some of the corner, but honestly, I like some of the corners here more than I like Bullock, but I don't like any of the other safeties. So I'm going to take Bullock, knowing that even if you take one of the, I don't mind 2, 4, I don't mind 5 of the 6 corners left. So I'm going to take Bullock because he's the only one I do want, knowing that even if you take 3 of these corners on consecutive picks, I'm still going to get 1 or 2 I like. So let's recap the second round. We have Cooper DeJean at 2, Cooper DeJean at 201, Quinyon Mitchell at 2, Braylon Trice at 3, Junior Colson 4, Cedric Gray 5, Cameron Kitchen 6, the 207 is Terrion Arnold, 8 is Tommy Eichenberg, Tavondre Sweat 9, Leonard Taylor III at 10, Javon Bullard 11, Kalen Bullock 12, brings us to the 301 for you. And I think we're probably going to see a run on corners here. This is kind of what it's like. Corners, they're like wide receivers. You just start throwing dart throws late, and that's probably because there's still a few linemen I don't mind. I really only want maybe 1 linebacker. So for me, it's probably corners here. But where are you going at 301?
At this time, I'd like to shock the nation.
You going Sione Vaki?
All I can no. That was just to show off a little bit. I have a name, and all I'm gonna say for analyst, he's having a hell of a combine right now. So I'm wondering if maybe you can pull some data up to support that, because it's too new. I just seen it. I'm like, wow, this guy pops. But if you can pull some data up while I'm telling you the name Marshawn Nealon, who's way down our draft boards, but at 30.1, I think I can get him in here. And I would be happy seeing where he goes. But he had a hell of a combine today. I just don't have the data in front of me because it just happened.
I had it just 1 sec. I know he ran a 4.7540, which doesn't particularly mean anything. 1 sec. So he
was in like all the major drills.
6'3", 267 pounds, ran a 4.7540, 1.6610 split, 35.5-inch vert, 911 broad, 702 3-cone drill, and a 418 20-yard. I know that doesn't mean a lot to you, but to a lot of people who don't know, I don't have the exact percentiles of that, but it's among the top end, the top quarter in pretty much every one of the events, give or take.
If I may, Aaron, a lot of people get all geeked up about combine speed, and that's a mistake. These cone drills are where it translates to NFL.
The agility is more important. The agility and the burst.
So when I seen that 7 today and I watched the rest of it, I was like, yeah, you know what? He's a 3rd-round pick somewhere. Maybe not this high, but I'm just going to call my shots. I'm going to get him out of the way.
I am going to go to the cornerback well here because I like a bunch of them. I will take Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson, bringing you up at the 303.
Okay. Looking at your board here, we got to go on a corner
You
run
can
at
go
some
off
point.
board. If there's someone that's not on board, just tell me and I'll add them. But
Right.
so who are you going?
So out of this right here, I feel like the corners need to go.
Yep.
So, you know, again, we still have a lot of data to do here. Last draft, we had Kool-Aid Man go 3.4. This is 3.3. I'll take him. I'll put him there. Let me get Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, for me, it was between him or Rakestraw. So
Yep.
That's pretty much what I was thinking. Like I said, this is pretty much where you need to be. You're going to see the cornerback run. I'm going to continue it with Rakestraw. So
he's a nice player, man. He presses guys line of scrimmage. He puts them down. I kind of like his tape.
Yeah. It's just DB is so devalued in most scoring formats that's why they're pushed lower in a league where they're not completely devalued. Like, the super flex equivalent for defensive back, they would be pushed up more. So they're solid value here. That's why you see the run. So I took Rakestraw Jr. That puts you up at 305.
If I have a middle third round draft pick and no one's really paying attention, top 5 linebacker arguably is the same guy who was a top 5 linebacker Buckus Award winner. He was a top 5. He didn't win it, but he was in the conversation. He popped against Georgia with 12 tackles. I usually say his name around here. You know who my guy is. Tyron Hopper out of Missouri.
Oh, you confused me totally. That's not who I had a linebacker next up on my board, and it was not the same one you had. I had Jalen Ford already loaded up.
Yeah, I like both of those guys, to be honest. But yeah, those are kind of where I go. Yeah.
Is it Hooper or Hopper? I have it as Hooper.
It's Hopper, and I misspelled it Hooper on my podcast. Don't tell anybody. It's not like we're live or anything.
Have I been calling him Hooper? I'm going to double check. Where is he on this stats today? I've been calling him Hooper all this time, and it's Hopper. Just a sec. Where the hell is he? Oh, did he not test today?
I didn't see any of the data. Like I said, it's so new. I'm going through my phone. I'm trying to translate, but I didn't see him at all today.
I don't have.
I could be wrong.
I'm going to change that quickly. That's going to annoy me. So it's Tyron Hopper. I've been calling him Hooper this whole time. I keep making Jaws Hooper jokes. Hooper. It's Hopper. Okay, that leaves me with Jalen Ford as my linebacker, and I don't know. I took a shot at Liufu last time, not in love with him, so that's where I'm going to go. And then from here on out, I think I'm sticking cornerback. Oh, that's not true. I have one D lineman left, so.
And I'm going to take him, I believe. I hope.
Go for it. Oh, that's not true. I have two.
Okay. Well, the guy that I wanted today at the Senior Bowl, not Senior Bowl, today at the Combine, he popped it. He actually, for the Senior Bowl, he switched teams. Okay. Dude's fantastic athlete. He's going to translate. I don't know if he's going to be a DT or DE, but I'm going to try Braylon Fisk here.
That's who I was taking, Braden Fisk.
Yeah, I know. We have the same players. It's so funny. Like
there was one point in the draft before they got to the really elite guys where he was the leader in pretty much every event across the board. So that was interesting. So that leaves me, I'm thinking either Jonah Ellis or I still have 2 cornerbacks. So I'm going to take Jonah Ellis because I can still snag one of the other cornerbacks, even if you take one here. So that's my pick, Jonah Ellis, DE out of Utah. What do you got for the 309?
So usually this is like that zone that I'm usually like bragging about guys like Sion Vaki, but I can't pass up Jaden Hicks here. He's got really good tape, and he's also got PFF loves him. A couple sites love him. I'll take him as, what is he, the DB4 off the board with the potential of being the DB3 in this draft class. I think that's good value.
He's safety 5 off the board.
There you go. Oh, that's even better. There you go.
All right. That means I am going to take Kamari Lassiter.
Nice.
Cornerback out of Georgia. Who is your 311?
Man, I was watching Lassiter. They move him all over the field. So he was probably up on my board coming up too. There's a couple players in here, and I only get to pick one. You have guys like, Dorius. You got guys like Solomon. I think what I'll do is I'll play it safe with some Chris Jenkins. He's a great run stopper in the NFL, which is going to translate to probably a 3-down player. I'll take him here. He's my top 5, 6. So yeah, it's not an exciting pick. I don't really have a good story here besides his dad played in the NFL, but that's it. I'll take him.
No, I had 2 picks left, and I said it's either going to be Tampa or Jenkins. I'm a Michigan fan though, so I'm probably partial, but I ended up going with TJ Tampa, cornerback out of Iowa State, to close it out after you went Chris Jenkins. So we will close out the draft with the 301 is Marshawn Nealon. Nate Wiggins goes 2, Kool-Aid McKinstry 3, Ennis Rakestra Jr. goes 4 to close out the run of 3 consecutive cornerbacks. Tyron Hopper goes 5, Jalen Ford 6, Braden Fisk, who was a star today at the Combine, goes 7, Jonah Ellis 8, Jaden Hicks 9, Kamari Lassiter 10, Chris Jenkins 11, and TJ Tampa 12. So that closes out our 3-round IDP only rookie mock. We are going to come back almost instantly after this and run us a 5-round IDP startup if you want to tune in for that. So I will make it a quick exit here, and then we'll switch back over to that. So thank you everyone for tuning into the Fantasy Football Universe and our 3-round IDP mock draft 2.0. For those of you coming back for the veteran IDP, we'll see you in about 4 minutes. Thanks, Steve, for joining me for this one. We'll see you in a few.
See ya.